Welcome to Day 9 Polity, focusing on governance. We'll be looking at key concepts related to pressure groups and public policy. Let's begin with a question on pressure groups from 2021. The correct answer is D. Statements 1 and 4 are correct. Pressure groups, also known as interest groups, are organized citizens who influence government decisions without seeking to govern. They focus on specific issues and exert pressure from outside the system. Common techniques used by pressure groups include lobbying, publicity, litigation, direct action, and electioneering. Key prerequisites for their influence are financial resources and specialized knowledge. Financial resources are crucial for research, campaigns, and sustained operations. Specialized knowledge provides the evidence base for credible and well-researched advocacy. Major types of pressure groups include sectional or interest groups, which protect their members' interests, and promotional or cause groups, which fight for broader causes like human rights or the environment. Institutional groups are big organizations within the system, like the Army, that influence policy from within. Analyzing the options from the first question, pressure groups do influence particular interests. They do not necessarily provide common benefits or require a large mandatory membership. The state-centered theory correctly assumes they have limited popular support. The state-centered theory posits that the state acts independently, with its own power and interests. This contrasts with the society-centered view, where government is controlled by outside groups. This theory views pressure groups as having limited, specialized support. The second question asks, which group attempts to influence public policy while pursuing their common interests? The correct answer is A, pressure groups. Unlike political parties, their goal is influence, not governing. The third question relates to the public policy cycle. The government explores policy responses during the policy formulation stage. Public policy is defined by Thomas Dye as what the government decides to do or decides not to do. Public policy includes both positive actions, such as passing a law to control pollution, and negative inactions, such as choosing to ignore an issue. Both action and inaction by the government count as policy. Key characteristics of public policy are that it is goal-oriented, authoritative with legal power, based on collective action for society, and a dynamic process. It is primarily formulated and implemented by public sector organizations. Substantive public policies deal directly with the welfare of the public. They can be categorized by direct benefit, broad focus like health and education, or problem solving for specific issues. Procedural policy is about the how of government action, setting the rules and machinery. Examples include recruitment procedures, budgeting steps, RTI rules, and codes of conduct. Public policies are classified into regulatory policies, which control behavior, distributive policies, which provide benefits to groups, redistributive policies, which move resources to reduce inequality, and constituent policies, which shape how the government is organized. Let's summarize the classifications of public policies. They can be regulatory, distributive, redistributive, or constituent. Policies are also classified as general or specific and broad or narrow, depending on their scope and application. The public policy cycle consists of 5 main stages. It begins with agenda setting, where problems are identified, followed by policy formulation, where solutions are explored. Next is policy adoption, where the decision is formalized, such as passing a bill. This is followed by policy implementation, and finally, policy evaluation and feedback to inform future cycles. We move to a practice question on good governance from 2022. We need to identify the features of good governance. The correct answer is D, which includes accountability, transparency, and integrity. Good governance focuses on fair, open, and efficient decision-making. It prioritizes accountability, transparency, and integrity over rigidity or micromanagement. The United Nations outlines 8 pillars of good governance: participation, rule of law, transparency, responsiveness, consensus-oriented, equity and inclusiveness, effectiveness and efficiency, and accountability. Conservatism, rigidity, and micromanagement are incorrect features. Good governance requires adaptability and strategic oversight, rejecting rigid traditional methods and excessive micromanagement for efficiency. For the next question on public policy from 2022, all statements are correct. Public policy is a way of doing things, an authoritative allocation of values meant for the public sector, and is defined by government action or inaction. Our next question on effective pressure groups from 2023 points to option C, money and expertise as the most necessary elements for influence. While membership and media access are helpful, resources and knowledge are key. Money and expertise are crucial for effective lobbying and policy influence. Large membership, media access, or legal support alone are not sufficient substitutes for these core resources. Question 7 asks about substantive public policies. The correct answer is D, 3 only, which is directly distribute benefits/costs to citizens. Procedural, distributive, and regulatory policies are distinct categories. The various classifications of public policy, such as general or specific, broad or narrow, and positive or negative, are all considered correct categories, making option C the correct answer for question 8. The correct answer is 1, 2, and 4. Distributive public policy, also called patronage policy, provides benefits to specific sections of society. It involves limited administrative discretion, while regulation of goods and services belongs to regulatory policy. Distributive policies provide benefits or resources to specific groups, such as farmers, students, or weaker sections. They are also called patronage policies and usually follow clear eligibility rules with limited discretion. However, in emergencies like natural disasters, administrative discretion may still be needed. Thank you everyone for joining this class. I hope today's session helped you understand the topic clearly. Keep learning, stay consistent, and continue your journey towards success. See you in the next class.